I was born in New York City and lived in New York City for a couple of years before my parents were able to purchase a house a little further out in the suburbs. But I grew up with my mother and my brother and myself in our home in Jericho, New York. I was a really hard worker. I wasn't in the Mensa Academy or to have certain honors. Nobody coined me as being the next brain surgeon when I was growing up. I was definitely bright, but I worked really hard for as long as I can remember. Growing up, I experienced actually some discrimination because I was a girl. I was better at sports, particularly basketball, than majority of all the boys in my school, lower grades, higher grades. And there were times where I was the only girl playing in the local basketball league, in our town's basketball league, and as time went on and I was embarrassing dads, allegedly embarrassing their kids by doing better than their sons, they felt very obliged to try and kick me out of basketball leagues that were all male. I know the term. I've always been very sexually fluid in the sense that I have always found myself attracted to men as well as attracted to women. I just didn't know that was okay. And a lot of friends of mine decided that they didn't want to be friends with me anymore because I was gay. And I had a really hard time with that. Probably the one experience that stands out most, because I was actually there, was being in New York on September 11th, 2001, and witnessing a plane fly very low over my head on my roof after I became aware of the first South Tower being attacked. And I watched the second tower in New York City of the World Trade Center get hit. And then we were on our roof with a couple of my friends who I lived with, and I watched the first and the second building crumble. I was probably 2 miles away visually from what transpired, and so that had a profound impact on my life for a variety of reasons. It rattled me to the core. It rattled me down to the very essence of thinking about my existence, religion, the world around me, the concepts of good and evil, what I wanted to do with my life. And my life was actually altered on that day. I think I always look back and think about that day being sort of the day where I chose the road less traveled, and it made all the difference. And decided to switch careers and become an educator. But I decided that I wanted to give back and try education and be an educator. I started looking for jobs in California and specifically San Diego. So my wife and I packed up our lives. I got the job, a fabulous job at a really progressive school out here, and arrived in July of 2006. Right now, and in the past 15 years of my life, the biggest inspiration in my life has been my wife. She is the most beautiful soul I've ever encountered. She is absolutely 100% the most beautiful human being I've ever encountered. She inspires me to be better individual, to be a better person every day. She challenges me. She calls me out when I'm not doing my best in any area, because she has really high expectations of me, and she wants me to meet the expectations that I have for myself. When I falter, she's there to lift me up, and if I'm too high on a pedestal, she's there to ground me. She's the mother of my 2 beautiful children that were just born, Hattie and John. Her name is Annie Boyer, and every day of my life I feel like I'm blessed that she chose me, and feel honored that our paths crossed, because I'm a really happy, blessed human being, and she is my inspiration.